Looking at our second example, there's our quadratic formula again, and our equation is negative 3x squared plus 2x plus 7 equals 0. Good news, already in standard form. I like that. So we can just go ahead and start identifying. So my A is negative 3, the B value is 2, and the C value is 7. And we're going to use this information to just plug it into that formula. So we have x equals negative b, so negative 2, plus or minus, I need a really big radical sign here. All right, what is my b squared? There we go. Where is my b squared? B is 2, so 2 squared minus 4 times a, and a is negative 3, times c, which is 7. All of this is over 2 times a, and again, a is negative 3. So x equals negative 2 plus or minus, I'm just going to start simplifying. 2 squared is 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and multiply this out. I have negative 4 times negative 3, which is negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. And 12 times 7 would give me a positive 84. So I'm going to say plus 84. I'm going to put this over 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6. Now let's go ahead and get everything under that radical put together. So I now have x equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 88 divided by negative 6. Now I know what you're thinking. 88. That's not a rational number. That is definitely not a perfect square. But what you're going to find in many of your assignments is it's going to ask you to either round to the nearest 10th, or it's going to ask you to round to the nearest 100th. So be very careful in what it asks you for. I always caution that you try to use as much in your calculator as possible. So we have the square root of 88, and the square root of 88 is 9.3808315. So I'm going to keep a little bit of that there. We're going to go to the nearest 10th, but I'm going to keep a couple of numbers just to make sure I have everything where I want it. So x equals negative 2 plus or minus 9.38 divided by negative 6. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this up into two equations. So I have x equals negative 2 plus 9.38 divided by 6, negative 6. And I have x equals negative 2 minus 9.38 divided by negative 6. So here I would just use my calculator. I'd say, okay, I have negative 2. And what I need to do with that is I need to add 9.38, which would be 7.38. I'm going to divide that by a negative 6. So using my calculator, I see that I have x is approximately negative my calculator says 1.23, so I'm going to go to the nearest 10th, so negative 1.2. If I look at the next solution, I'm going to say, well, x is, and I have negative 2 minus 9.38, so that's going to be negative 11.38. Divide that by negative 6, and my calculator gives me 1.89666. So I'm going to go ahead and round that to the nearest 10th. So 1.89 will round to 1.9. So my solutions, or where this crosses the x-intercepts, or the zeros, or the roots, would be approximately negative 1.2 and approximately 1.9.